Keith One-Time Thurman says he's only fighting Pacquiao. That'll be his last fight for this year. Then he has to take a rest. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang. Notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Now, they did the press conference, two-city press conference for announcing Manny Pacquiao. I want to thank it's up to my promoter, Adam, versus Keith Thurman. Good fight going on in July. Both had a lot to say about this, that, and the third. Keith Thurman basically said he's going to retire Pacquiao, and if Pacquiao somehow beats him, he's going to retire, or think about it. And one thing that came up during this press conference were obviously questions about Errol Spence. Now, a few years ago, this was recommended by Floyd Mayweather. I talked about this extensively, but Keith Thurman became kind of like the Derrick Rose of boxing, and people stopped talking about a Thurman versus Spence fight because everything we were hearing from Keith Thurman, it didn't look like it was close to happening or going to happen. Didn't look like Keith Thurman was willing to fight Errol the Truth Spence Jr. So as a result, the hype died down for that particular fight. Thurman spent time on the sidelines and traveling, and people started looking at other fights like Joshua Wilder, or in the welterweight division, they started considering the option of Terrence Crawford, who had moved up after becoming undisputed at 140, and thought about, what if Crawford fights against Spence? But Spence, he's been the target recently. Before, he couldn't get people to fight him, but now his name is booming. Now you have more people who at least seem willing to fight. So that's a good thing. Plus, Al Heyman is doing basically a tournament at 147. They're talking about Danny Garcia versus Mikey Garcia. That would be a good fight. They're talking about a unification between Sean Porter and Errol Spence. That's obviously a good fight to consolidate belts. And of course, Pacquiao versus Thurman to consolidate the WBA super and regular belts. So I'm all for this. But one thing Keith Thurman said in this press conference that was interesting is he says after the Pacquiao fight, he's definitely not fighting a third time this year. He said he has to take some time off to rest. And he also said that maybe he can fight Errol Spence in a unification 2020. These statements from Keith Thurman, for me, it make me question his hunger and desire at the top level. If I'm being frank and being honest, because I don't know, a lot has changed in the boxing where fighting 3 times is considered almost taboo. If a star fighter fights 3 times, that's a shock to everybody. People are like, oh, wow, 3 times. That's like a treat for the fans. The only people that are really doing it are like the Teofimos and guys like that. Tevin Farmer, he's a champion. He's probably the only champion that's fighting multiple times. But then again, some of the fights aren't. It's not like Gervonta Tank Davis and stuff like that. He's just fighting whoever Eddie Hearns can get him. But fighting 3 times a year seems to be kind of a thing of the past. Keith Thurman saying that he can't do it. So I don't know. I question if Keith Thurman has the same desire, because he literally seems like he talks a bit different than when he first came out. When he first came out, it was like, you better not duck me, Thun. And he was pulling up at Paulie Malignaggi when Malignaggi was a champion. He just seemed to have a different energy. He was pulling up to people's press conferences and calling out Floyd Mayweather. Now he does the greasy talk from time to time or during fight weeks and stuff like that. But he's also making statements like, hey, if Pacquiao beats me, I'll bow down and consider retirement. My mama said I look good in a suit. I could do commentary stuff. And making this, saying he basically doesn't want smoke with Errol Spence. He's not even considering the option of a third fight this year, maybe in 2020. It's unfortunate. I think Keith Thurman and Errol Spence is a great fight. Obviously, if he wins versus Pacquiao, and if Spence unifies and beats Sean Porter, then the fight's still an option. But I guess I'd prefer to not see Keith Thurman just outright rule it out, but you know, at least I appreciate his honesty. But it just seems when it comes to Errol Spence, that name particularly, you don't see this same energy with Keith Thurman to, you know, talk and go at. Like, he's even said some disparaging things about Terrence Crawford ain't fought nobody and he hasn't really proven anything. So when it comes to Errol Spence, he doesn't seem to say much negative. He said he's the number 2 guy and Errol's a good fighter, things like that. So we'll see. But for the people who are counting on Errol Spence, it doesn't look like we're any closer. And this is sad, like I said, because last year was supposed to be Keith Thurman's get-back year, and then he didn't even fight. Then he fought in January with Jose Cito Lopez. Now he's promoting the Pacquiao fight for the summer, and he's already ruling out coming back a 3rd time. So, you know, it doesn't look another year where we don't get that unification with Keith Thurman and Spence. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.